discussion question. So we know that we're all navigating the global pandemic in different ways. I would love to hear from you, and the group here would too. What are some key insights about how you've mobilized during this time? Claire, could you get us started?
Sure, I would love to do that. Well, many of you may know Pamela Jeffrey, who was the organizer and the runner of the Women's Executive Network for many years, which highlighted women and their success. And she approached a group of us in May and began to talk about the challenges, as we all know, facing women as a result of COVID-19, because we know that women are suffering more than others in terms of the pandemic, both from a point of view of losing their jobs, having to give up some of their time on their jobs because of childcare, and of course the stereotyping about who's responsible for home, with children at home from schools all spring and summer. And we've, all of us involved who became visionaries and formed the Prosperity Project, have all worked many, many years to make change and wanted to continue to make positive change so that we wouldn't see women going backwards in terms of what was happening out there. So the Prosperity Project was born, and it has basically 4 pillars to it. One is an awareness campaign, which is to bring to everyone the awareness of what is happening with women, and to make sure that they understand there's a real link between prosperity and women. And if women don't prosper, the country doesn't prosper. And there's been a lot of studies that show that. So that was a key component. So there's an awareness campaign, and it'll be something along the lines of, many of you won't remember, but many of you will have heard the Rosie the Riveter campaign during the war, or following the war, where women were out there doing the work when there was no longer any men around. And a second part is a monthly poll that looks at the household spending, but within that you find things, and it's done with Polera, and it came out on September 10th, and they find that women had lost their jobs more than men. They'd also taken cut in the hours of their job. And of course, one of our concerns is to make sure that women do not go backwards. And then there's also a long-term study, which is going to look at ways that women can support each other, ways that government and other policymakers can come up with programs that will help women. And then another key element of this is a matching program between experts and nonprofits that are supporting women, to bring them an expertise that they may be lacking because of a lack of funding. They don't have people they can hire. So this will be a match that will help them through the time of the pandemic. So that's essentially what the Prosperity Project is. And what it is now there's more, and it's all volunteer. It's a volunteer nonprofit. And I think it just brings to mind, when we're talking about democracy, how important the NGO sector is to democracy, that sometimes we forget that. So that'll be how I kick it off.
Thanks. So